Hi everybody, this is Bug-Ass Reviews, and today I'm going to be doing a review on the Marvel Legends Loki figure. So before we take a look at Loki, let's take a look at the accessories that he comes with. So first up, he comes with the right leg of the Hulk Build-A-Figure, and now I've officially started the Hulk Build-A-Figure, so that'll be exciting to start building him. And his only other accessory is this sword. And this sword we've previously seen before. It was used with Angela figure from the Guardians of the Galaxy wave in 2017, I believe. Except this time, what color was it in? I think it was in like a dark gold color, maybe like an orangish color. And this one's done in a marbleized yellow color. And the blade has that sparkly silver painted over it. I think they painted it pretty nicely. Right down here by the handle you can see they didn't paint some on there. But if you have it back like this, it's not noticeable. But as you can tell, it is very shiny. So he can hold this in either hand pretty well. You just slide it in like that. And it stays pretty good. You can turn him upside down and it doesn't come out. So now let's go ahead and take a look at this head sculpt. So taking a look at the head sculpt of Loki, I think it looks good. I do have some nitpicks with it, even though it does look good. First up, they used marbleized yellow on his helmet, and I do think that looks really good. And they sculpted his ponytail really nicely. It even has a wash of like a really, really dark yellow color to it. Almost like a brownish color. But it brings out a lot of the details to his ponytail here. My first complaint is that it doesn't have any articulation. It doesn't swivel side to side. That would have been nice if it just pegged in his head and could swivel, that way it wasn't always stuck like that. My second complaint is I feel like the eyes are pointing different directions, like the left one's pointing to the left and the right one's pointing to the right. It would have been nice if they would have centered them. The right eye isn't as bad as the left eye, so yeah, it would have been nice if they would have centered them. And my third complaint with this head sculpt is even though the teeth are sculpted on nicely, the lip is bleeding onto the teeth, and it kind of makes it look like he has a gap right there. But other than that, I do think it looks good. They did like a wash over the skin tone to bring out the details. As you can see, it's some different shades right there. So they didn't paint it all the way to the edges because you can see the lighter skin tone and the darker skin tone right there. Yeah, you can tell where they painted on where they didn't. But that does bring out all the details on his face, so that's pretty nice. And the rest of this body is a reuse. It's the Grim Reaper body mold. The only thing new here is this collar piece. And it is loose. It just, if you turn him upside down, then it'll come up like that. So we'll probably glue that down because that is pretty irritating to constantly have to put it the right way. Because sometimes it'll do that, then you'll have to put it back down there. The belt. Not sure where the belt came from. I feel like we've seen this before. I'm sure it's been used before, though. On his torso right here, he has the scales painted on. And it would have been really, really nice to see that sculpted on. That would have looked so much better than them just painting it on. But they didn't. They did use that yellow color, the marbleized yellow, under this. And then they painted the gold over top of it. Because, as you can see, the scales stop right there. Which, of course, they need to, just because it won't go all the way up his neck. But you can see that's what the color is underneath it right there. And I feel like the skin tone, and then on the legs it gets really shiny. Especially right here on the shoulders. The shoulders are very, very glossy. So I'm not sure why his torso is so flat, and then the rest of him is so shiny. Especially right here on his shoulders. That's where it stands out the most. On his gloves, he has that marbleization. The yellow marbleized plastic. His hand and his sword are done in the same kind of plastic, the same marbleization going on there. And then his feet also have it. Now, I think it would have been better to use the, I hate to say Bucky cap, but either the Bucky cap or the Pizza Spider-Man body mold for this, because I feel like this Loki is just too bulky. I mean, it's still a good figure because, we all need a classic Loki. The last classic Loki we got was Toy Biz from the Onslaught wave, and I don't think it was classic. I'm not even really sure what look that's from. But yeah, that's the last comic Loki we got. Oh no, Hasbro did a Dark Reign Loki during the Thor movie wave. But yeah, I never saw it either. But it was a modern figure. It isn't the classic look like this one. So now let's go over the articulation. He's got a ball jointed head that can look back all the way. It can look down all the way. He can move his head side to side. Also, I guess looking at it from the side, you can see some gappage there. I suppose his head is sitting up on that ball peg pretty high. So yeah, that might need lowered just a little bit. He has ball jointed shoulders that can only move out that far. The Grim Reaper shoulders can't move out that far. So I wish that's another reason why I wish they would have used a different body mold. He has swivel at the bicep, double jointed elbow, swivel at the wrist that can move side to side and up and down, an ab crunch that can move back all the way. Though if you move it back all the way, those scales are just painted onto right there. That will expose that. He can move down all the way. It's kind of weird they just about painted him up all the way on the back, but not on the front. Yeah. He has swivel at the waist. I started to say bicep. He has swivel at the waist that can move side to side. He has ball jointed hips that can move out that far. He can kick forward all the way. He can kick back just a little bit. He has swivel at the thigh, double jointed knee, swivel at the shin that can move side to side, swivel at the ankle that can move down all the way, swivel at the ankle that can move up all the way, and an ankle rocker. His ankles are pretty stiff, so you might want to boil that and get them loosened up. That way you don't break it. I don't feel like I'm going to break it by inputting a lot of stress on it, so over time it might break. So now let's do some size comparison. So first up, here he is next to his MCU counterpart Loki. This is the Loki from Thor Ragnarok. There he is next to him. Here he is next to the Loki that I was using in my collection as Marvel Legends Loki. And this one is way too short. I feel like this is the kind of body mold that Loki needed, was like a thinner body mold, not this body mold. I'm not even sure what Toy Biz Loki this is. I just know it's a Toy Biz Loki from the 90s. But here he is next to him. Here he is next to Thor, the Toy Biz Thor figure. And man, I can't wait for the new Thor to come out because we really need an updated version of this. But there he is next to Thor. And finally, here he is next to his sister, Angela. And she is very tall. And there's the sword I was talking about. I guess it was done in an orange color. I thought it was either dark gold or orange. But yeah, there they are next to each other. So, overall, I think this Loki is a good figure. I disagree with the body mold that they went with, and I do have some minor complaints. But other than that, it is a really good figure because we desperately need a classic comic Loki. So I'd highly recommend picking this figure up. So that's my review. If you like this review, be sure to hit the like button and subscribe to my channel. Thanks for watching.